Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So now we've reached the final lesson in our series of lessons on how to pronounce using our sort of what I like to call our Finglish system. So this last lesson will be pretty much a recap of what we have learned in all the previous lessons up till now. And yeah, let's see how you've done. So this is our lesson on mastering pronunciation, lesson 5, achieving clarity and precision in sentence reading with techniques from previous lessons. So I should just mention real quickly, if you haven't done so, please make sure to check out all our previous videos so that way you can actually give a good attempt at reading these Farsi words using our Finglish system. From now I'm going to call it a Finglish system, so don't get confused, but it's pretty much this writing Farsi using English letters, and that way it will help you to be able to pronounce them as close as possible to the right pronunciation. So, do you remember this slide? This was actually the slide from our lesson 1, part 1. Maybe the first time when you tried reading this, it wasn't, you tried, you got some mispronunciations and things like that. But now that you've gone through our lesson, you understood, what each vowel sounds like and how, when it connects with the consonant, what sound does it make. As well, what are the periods and how we are separating the words. I think now you should be able to read these sentences as like with perfect pronunciation. If you want, pause the video right now before we go through all this together. But anyways, all right, let's try to go through this together. So I will break it down for you as much as possible. So let's start. This one. Salam. حال شما چطور است? If I was to say it a little bit faster, and remember, if you are trying to learn how to read Farsi, we've written down the Farsi for you right over here. Salam, حال شما چطور است? Which means, hello, how are you? So one thing I want to mention again, in case if you may have forgotten, remember that the period will separate the word into syllables, which means that each of these, group of syllables is one word. So that means that this is one word, this is one word, this is another word, that's another word, and this is another word. So this is just a bunch of these words, but these are broken down into syllables for you. So whenever I'm reading it, you will notice that I will have a pause between each syllable, but I'll have a bigger pause in between the words. So if you see that there's a space between the word, make sure you pause a little bit longer. So let's try this one now. کتاب را روی میز گذاشتم. کتاب را روی میز گذاشتم. See how I said گذاشتم as one word? Because that is just one word, okay? And what does this mean? I placed the book on the table. So for now, we are just teaching you these sentences. Don't worry too much about, individual translations. We will get into that more in future lessons, okay? So let's go on to the next one. او یک دوست خوب است. او یک دوست خوب است. He/she is a good friend. One other thing I want to make note here, since we have separated these into different words, you can actually see these words in the Farsi equivalent. So u is spelled like this, u. Yek is this one right here, yek. Duste is this one right here. And khub is right here. And ast is right here. So since we've split out the words like this, and the periods are just the breaking the word into syllables, you can actually see the Farsi writing of it right on the side, and you can compare each word to see how it's written, just to help for those who want to learn how to read Farsi itself. Let's go on to the next one. امروز هوا خیلی خوب است. امروز هوا خیلی خوب است. The weather is very nice today. And last one. من در ایران زندگی می کنم. من در ایران زندگی می کنم. I live in Iran. So I wanted to make one other note here. Have you noticed that a lot of English-speaking people, they usually read this word as Iran or Iran, but that's not how we pronounce it. It's actually Iran. Iran. So that's why it's very important to make sure that you are reading our words using the pronunciations that we recommended from our very first lesson. So if you've noticed, we're using a U as in up, so that's ran. Even though the spelling in English is ran, we pronounce it as Iran. Alright? So man dar Iran zendagi mikonam. I live in Iran. So now we're going to be looking at some of the phrases to practice in Arabic. So if you recall, our channel, we said that we're going to try to help you with some of the Arabic phrases, particularly from the Quran. So this is actually from the Quran. We wrote it down here, Surah 112, the Unity. So using our Finglish system, we've also been able to write some of these Farsi phrases and these Arabic phrases to be able to pronounce them using our Finglish system. So let's give it a try, okay? You remember, don't be intimidated just because it's Arabic. Follow the same pronunciation guides that we've provided and you will be able to pronounce it as close as possible. So let's try. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So remember, the words are broken into syllables, but this is one big word, another big word, and another big word. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And we've written the translations down below. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. How about this one? Qul. This one might be a little bit tricky for you to pronounce. Remember, Qul Huwal Lahu Ahad. Qul Huwal Lahu Ahad. Which says, say, He is Allah the One. How about this one? Allahus Samad. Allahus Samad. Allah, who is in need of none and of whom all are in need. How about this one? Lam Yaled Va Lam Yulad. So Lam Yaled Va Lam Yulad. He neither begot any nor was he begotten. Forgive some of the translations because obviously this was like the Quran was written so long ago that it's hard to get the exact feeling and translation of it into English. It's almost similar to Shakespeare and trying to translate that, but this is as close as we can get in terms of translations. If you're interested in for your own knowledge of what the translations are, feel free to search it on the internet and you will get some good results there. How about the last one? Valam yakon laho kofovan ahad. And there is none comparable unto him. So if I wanted to pronounce this whole thing, maybe if you want to give it a try it right now. But here is pretty much if I wanted to pronounce it as close as possible that I can. This is how it would sound to be a little bit fluent sounding. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahus samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. Wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. As you can tell as well, if there's anyone here on the who's watching this video who speaks Arabic, they should know as well that I am not an Arabic speaker. But using this Finglish system, I have been taught how to read it as close as possible that I can. And I hope that for those who are non-Arabic speakers, and maybe those who are just starting to learn about it, they can use this as a guide to really get them started. Obviously, it takes years of practice and going into the country itself, being immersed in the culture to be able to pronounce it with their accuracy and with their sort of intonation. But this will get you close enough so that way you can be able to read some of the verses in the Quran, and maybe you can understand it when you hear people saying these phrases. You'll be able to pick out some of these words. So that really is our goal here. And I do hope that this will become useful for you as it has been for me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we are now done with our initial series of lesson in terms of being able to read our Finglish system. We haven't really been focusing on learning words. Like we did try to teach you some words here and there, but it was really just some basic just mainly trying to get you used to on how to pronounce the words that we are writing in Finglish. And remember, from now on, I'm going to be calling this Finglish. But yeah, from now on, we're going to actually be looking at mastering reading. So starting with all the different alphabets in Farsi and trying to read the different sentences so that way you can now become more and more fluent in the actual reading of Farsi. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Here's a preview actually for our next lesson, Mastering Reading Skills, Lesson 1, Practice with Sentences in Farsi. So I really do hope that this series has been helpful for you, and if it has been, feel free to like and subscribe, and please make sure to keep checking on our channel to see when we release new videos. As well, if you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. I'm more than happy to read those, and I'm actually excited to see what you are thinking, and if you have any suggestions as well. But yeah, until the next lesson, please keep on practicing, and see you then.